Hello everyone. How's everybody doing today? I hope you all are doing well. I'm Dr. Nicole Edwards, board certified family medicine physician, and welcome to the show Talk with the Doc, our weekly show where we take medical conditions and break them down in terms that everyday people can understand. Like I said, I'm Dr. Nicole D.O. I specialize in managing and treating chronic medical conditions and promoting whole person health for all people, especially veterans, busy professionals, and people and parents. So if you are falling into one of those categories, please click like, share, and follow our page on YouTube, Dr. Nicole D.O. That's DrNicoleDO. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. All month long, we've been coming to you about different mental health conditions and other chronic medical conditions that can be affected by our mental health. So the first week of the month, we talked about all the different types of mental health conditions: depression, anxiety, other things like bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and how all of these are managed, how they're treated, and how you can get help for them. We also have talked about other conditions that are affected by our mental health, such as migraine headaches and acid reflux or GERD. Well, today we're going to talk to you about something very precious to all of us, and that is sleep. Absolutely. So if you are not whole person healthy, that's mind, body, spirit, and finances, you will not be all over healthy. Okay, dis-ease. That's what a disease is. And so if any of those areas are in disarray or dis-ease, that's where disease comes in. All right. And so what we are going to be focusing on today is one of those really important ones: insomnia and problem sleeping. And we're going to talk about what are the definitions of insomnia, what types of insomnia there are, what can cause insomnia, what can affect insomnia, and how can we treat insomnia. All right. So if you are anybody that's, like I said, a veteran, a parent, a busy professional, and you have had trouble sleeping, go ahead and raise your hand if that is you. I know that's me, all right? Busy professional, parent, and I have trouble sleeping quite often. All right, when we have a lot on our mind, it's hard to fall asleep. So let's go over what is insomnia. There are different types of insomnia. Insomnia basically is when you have trouble sleeping. You can have trouble falling asleep. So those are the people that toss and turn. They just can't fall asleep. You get in the bed and you're sitting there for hours. You're counting the sheep and you're looking at the ceiling. You're looking at all around and you won't fall asleep. All right, that's one type of insomnia. Another one is problems staying asleep. Now, people get up for different reasons. Sometimes you get up to use the bathroom. Sometimes you get up because you have a nightmare. Sometimes you get up because you have trouble breathing. Sometimes you're getting up because of another medical condition. Like last week, remember we talked about acid reflux and how it's worse when you lay flat. So sometimes laying flat in the bed can cause that acid to come up, and that can wake us up out of our sleep. All right. So if you have trouble falling asleep, trouble staying asleep, all right, or you are waking up multiple times throughout the night, that is the definition of insomnia. All right. Now, insomnia can be acute. Acute means short acting, or typically for acute, we mean short amount of time. So usually that's less than 6 months. Okay. Sometimes they say less than 3 months. Some people even say acute, meaning like 2 weeks. But if you have something going on, let's say you're sick. Okay. You've got the flu, you've got COVID. Well, with those ones, typically you're sleeping more. But let's say you're not feeling well, you might be having some acute insomnia for just that time. All right. Versus chronic insomnia is where you have had trouble falling asleep for years. A lot of my veterans have this. You just chronic insomnia. You're only sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night, or you're not sleeping for a long amount of time. There are cycles in sleep. There's stages of sleep. There's REM sleep, which is our deep sleep, and we need that because that's our restorative sleep. All right. So if you're not getting all the way into the different patterns and the different types or the stages of sleep, then your body is not being refreshed. All right. So you can have, like I said, acute insomnia, or you can have chronic insomnia. Now, there are two different types of acute or chronic insomnia. One is called primary, one is called secondary. Primary insomnia means your sleep problems aren't linked to any other health conditions. You just have problems sleeping, period. Okay, it just is what it is. And then there are secondary insomnia, and this means you have trouble sleeping because of another health condition. Remember, and that's what we're talking about this month. Problems sleeping that are linked to our mental health. But there are other health conditions that can cause trouble sleeping as well. Things like asthma, Okay, things like arthritis or pain, cancer, heartburn, and depression, anxiety. These are things that can cause secondary insomnia or insomnia because of another condition. Also, there are substances that we can use, such as alcohol, that can make you not sleepy, okay, and have trouble sleeping. So those would be called secondary insomnia, all right? And then there's mixed insomnia, where you can have trouble falling asleep and staying asleep, all right? Both, that's called mixed insomnia. So what are the causes of insomnia? Well, for primary insomnia, a lot of times, or the primary causes of insomnia have to do a lot of times with stress, all right? That's why we're talking about it this month. So if you have been stressed, all right, if you have been under a lot of pressure, if you have been dealing with a lot mentally, depression, anxiety, maybe you even have some good stressors on you. Maybe you just had a baby, all right? That's stress, great stress, but it is stress. And boy, if you don't get your sleep there, right? And you, as a new mom, what do they tell you? Oh, sleep when the baby sleeps. Does that happen? Very rarely, all right? But as a doctor, I am encouraging you, if you are a new mom, to please try to sleep when the baby sleeps. Because usually when the baby's up, you're either nursing, you're feeding, you are changing the baby, you're playing with the baby, you're doing interacting with the baby, you're bonding with the baby. And so when the baby sleeps, it's a great time for you to sleep as well. But a lot of times, what do we do as new moms? We sit there and we watch our baby sleep, right? Or we're concerned, did they hiccup wrong? Are they breathing? That can cause some insomnia in you, the parent, right? What is another cause of insomnia? Like I said, stress. If you are in mourning, maybe you have had a loved one pass away, then that can cause some insomnia. If you are dealing with, like I said, depression or anxiety, you've got a lot on your mind just won't shut off at night for you to go to sleep. That can cause living in the big city, and you've got the trains rolling by and the police cars and the sirens, and there's lots of noise. The children are maybe running around upstairs, or the neighbor is having a party. The noise can cause insomnia. If there's bright lights, okay, and we know that there's different types of lights. There's blue lights, like the lights that are emanated from electronics, like our phones, and then there's just the bright, the sunlight sometimes. If you're a shift worker, maybe you're having to sleep during the day and be awake at night, versus, so you might be affected by the sunlight, versus the lights just being on. Maybe the lights are too bright. Maybe the light from your alarm clock is too bright. Maybe the light from your phone, maybe the lights from your charger are too bright. We've got to dim those lights so we can get some sleep. Another cause of insomnia is temperature. Now, I personally am cold-natured. I am freezing cold most of the time at night, so I like to wrap up and I like to be warm. I usually sleep with some kind of heated blanket or some kind of extra blanket or something. All right, my husband and I, we have we come to an agreement. Okay, he sleeps with the ceiling fan on. I sleep with the heated blanket. Simple, right? We compromise. I encourage you all to compromise. Find a way to be temperature controlled for you. Although most people say that you sleep better when it is cooler. That is what most sleep specialists say. But I know you have to know your own body. And my body does not like cold. My body does not like cold at all. So I need to be warm in order to fall asleep well. Okay. Now, other causes of insomnia are changes to our schedule. Like I said, if you're that new mom, all right, if you shift workers, right? So you're a nurse, you're working 12-hour shifts certain days of the week. So certain days of the week you're asleep during the night, but you're awake during the day. And then other shifts you're awake during the day and awake during the night and sleep during the day. That can be a reason why you can have some insomnia. If you have jet lag, okay? Dr. Nicole has been traveling a lot, speaking all across the country lately, and I've had some jet lag. I tell y'all, this week was a perfect week to talk about insomnia because I got the opposite. I'm going to sleep when I'm going to sleep because I've been tired, but I've been jet lagged. So sometimes I have to stay up because I have to go and speak, right? And so if you are having some jet lag, and I'm going to talk to you about some ways that you can help with that, then that's another cause of insomnia. All right. Other things we know, medications can cause insomnia or problems sleeping. Caffeine can cause trouble sleeping. Tobacco can cause trouble sleeping. If you have thyroid conditions, that can cause trouble sleeping. If you have sleep apnea, which we're actually going to talk about next week, okay? Sleep apnea, especially for my veterans, insomnia and sleep apnea are two different claims. Okay, if you're looking to do service connection claim, you cannot put in a claim for sleep apnea. If you, that's a different claim for an insomnia claim. Two different categories, two different claims, all right? And two different subjects, so we'll talk about sleep apnea next week. So if you're a veteran, come on back next week because we're also gonna address sleep apnea and how that is linked to PTSD, depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions. All right, but again, if you have sleep apnea, that can also affect your sleep. Pregnancy can affect your sleep, right? There's some people, they can't get a comfortable spot. You're, carrying all this extra weight. Your back might be hurting. You've got round ligament pain. You've got reflux, swelling. So sleep might be affected by pregnancy. Also, ADHD. Okay, so if your brain just won't shut down sometimes, that can affect our sleep. All right, so all of these things can affect our sleep. Did you also know that insomnia can be genetic? All right, you can have, so some people in their families just don't, you're not sleeping well, and it's genetic. So these are the things that can cause insomnia or cause our sleep. So what happens when we have insomnia? Well, of course, you're not sleeping well, all right? So if you're not sleeping well, then you can be